Why is Meridiana so special? My neighborhood is so special because it does a few things incredibly well. First off, it gives you some of the best builder variety and product line variety that you can get in all of Houston, starting from your townhomes all the way on up to your mega mansions like stuff behind me. To give you the gated sections and the amenity package that you can desire pretty much bar for bar with any community. On top of that, it's going to be one of the most affordable luxury communities year round. And then when you sprinkle that cherry on top of it being 20 to 25 minutes from here to the medical center, you have a recipe for an amazing community. And so all of that makes Meridiana special. But having said all of that, this channel has blown up largely because of you guys' love for what I've shown here and the amount of people that have traveled looking at other communities that I've brought over here to Meridiana, and they decided to call it home. And we eventually did the same thing just because I was over here so much. Meridiana really holds a special place to me and my family for changing the trajectory of my real estate career. So I want to show y'all some of the models that y'all have loved the most on this channel, because this may be the last time that I showcase them on the channel, because within the next couple months, all of these beautiful models that have changed my real estate life are going up for sale, and they are ushering in a new generation and a new phase to this neighborhood. So we're going to talk about who's coming, who's no longer going to be here. Eventually, we're going to have all the pricing. I think we're a couple months out from having pricing on everybody, but for right now, let's just enjoy these beautiful model homes. If that sounds good, stay tuned. And so, it is only right that we start the video out with Highland Homes. This is the 222 plan. This is, if not, gotta be top 3 selling plans for all of Houston for the 65-foot products and better. I know I've got quite a few of them under my belt at this point, so I know it does well. Love this builder. For those of you that are not new to the channel, you know that my family and I are card-carrying holding members for Highland Homes, so I cut for them a little bit harder than most probably would. But they have a beautiful home that a lot of my clients just tend to love. And many of my people fall within 2 different camps when you're looking at this style of home. You're gonna go for either this more traditional look, where it is the open concept kitchen, and we'll get to all that in a little bit. I just want to show you some of this gorgeous home soaking in, because this, again, may be the last time that you see it on the channel. But you either fall into this more traditional style where you got 2 beds down with the traditional in-law suite, primary on the other side of the house, the rest of the bedrooms up, open concept sort of vibe that a lot of the builders do well. But for whatever reason, this has never been the absolute biggest model. This has never been the largest, the widest home set for this style of home. But for whatever reason, when my clients come in here, it changes the tone of anything that they've been looking at. And they'll usually come here looking for a Perry, or they'll see a new Mark, or they'll see something along those lines in other communities that weren't quite here at the time. We'll get to that new Mark piece because they're coming here. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But it's one of those things where they would come in here, see this model, and just be like, this is it. This is probably the most easily signed model that I've ever showcased. And it's a beautiful home. And every time I come in it, I'm just like, when it's time for us to upgrade and go to that next home here, likely in Meridiana, because we legit love it here. This is a beautiful neighborhood. It is likely going to be this model or the 224. All right, so met a couple fans of the channel. Let them get out of the way. I don't know if they're camera shy or not. This would be your garage, normally 3-car. Little powder bath and mudroom. And again, this is one of those reasons why I mean it's kind of a little bit more formal, right? Because this one gives you a standalone little dining area. Whereas the other model, the 224 model, and then you come into the Classic X kitchen, it gives you the 2-story judge, it gives you the peekaboos, it gives you the stone to the top. It does all the things that you want a home that you work so hard for, a 4,000 square foot house, you want it to do. And it just does it incredibly well. But in the 224 plan, which I think has slowly kind of morphed into my favorite because it's a little bit more unique, this is basically all open cathedral, but all the spaces are very similar, or not very similar, they're open concept. So your kitchen connects to like your living room area, kinda. Your area for where your table would be is also in that little cathedral open concept living room area. And so you either fall into one or two camps. You either want it to be a little bit more separated like this one, or you like that vibe of almost like a luxury museum where you can put art on all these walls that they give you. And I love both of them. Every time I come in here, I'm like, this is the one. Every time I go into 224, I'm like, that's the one. But I just love Highland Homes for the plans that they give you, because they seem to be, especially on this 65 foot, they seem to just be super thoughtful, super well designed. Now, everything in here, of course, is gonna be upgraded. Hutches, stuff to the top. Classic X, for those of y'all that aren't new to the channel, you know that if it got some furniture legs on it, this is upgraded. This is one of the biggest islands that you can get in Houston. You come up in here, and we have the range hood, which you get with Highland. Once you kind of get over that 60-foot product, you start to get the range hood with the shroud. But yeah, upgraded cabinetry, kitchen, functional cabinets all over the side on this one. And they give you this one on this plan mainly because this one has probably one of the biggest drawbacks to this one is the pantry for a house that is this size is a little bit tight. But what my clients have done is they either have a deep freezer or they're using some of these cabinets that you see down here for storage of other things that you wouldn't necessarily have in your pantry. Right? So then you come on out here. This one was the showstopper for my clients when they saw this, because they were coming from a place where they love to grill, they love to be outside, they love to entertain. They saw these sliders off of that and they're just like, man, the indoor-outdoor vibe that we'll be able to get back here. They immediately started talking as if they had already bought the house, they were already in it. And so again, I'm very partial to this builder in this neighborhood specifically because it took me over into a category of more luxury home sales. I had sold some high-priced homes that were resales, but this was one of the first that I started to kind of get in volume, and it just showed well and kind of changed the whole tone, like I said earlier, of how I even look at this channel. At first, when I started out, I was doing all like resales and all that other stuff, right? But now I'm kind of the new construction guy, and as I'm walking in a model home, people are like, hey, I saw your video. And I tell them like I tell y'all every time I see y'all and y'all don't hit me up, why didn't you call me? We all laugh, but it's all good, all love. It is what it is. Okay, but back to this beautiful home, giving you that almost 2-story patio, which I love. Westin Homes has a 70-foot plan called the Jackson plan that does that incredibly well. One of my favorite in Houston. But this was the one, and I've had clients that have stretched this out, that have done some more concrete out here, that have put a pergola out here, that have put their kitchen all the way out here to the back. I've seen some incredible things done with this foundation of this patio, and it has just been a crazy seller all over Houston. Between the 222, the 223, and the 224, whether inventory or build, that's some of the plans that are just gonna go, no matter the neighborhood. Now, my neighborhood in Meridiana is no different, but look, you come back in and it's just like vibes, incredible vibes. Slide to your primary. Got the bump out over there. It would normally stop here. Still a big room, but I think it's a must on all Highland Homes, in my opinion, or any builder in general. If you got the option to do it, definitely do the bump out. It just adds to the luxury of it. Beautiful home. Peekaboo tub. Standalone. It's about $7 or $8 grand for a standalone. You have the separate vanities. This one has the make ready, get ready station over here with the extra cabinetry. Slide on into the closet. Pretty good size. I definitely would suggest kind of doing it up like this and having the closet just done up right. I've seen a couple of these in inventory where they kind of spent the money to do this, but more times than not, it's just going to be the rods and things, and you'll have to come in and do a closet system yourself. If you need a guy, I've been given a couple people that I can recommend to you. But yeah, super, super nice. Stepping up to your peekaboo. But I would say even the craziest space in this house is honestly the upstairs, because they have the layout that, man, just like, I need to get it because I'm all about moving the needle forward financially for my family, right? And so there's things in this house that you get that could help, in our case, my daughter Chandler, set up a good life. And it's that extended wing that I'm about to show you now without further ado. But after that, before that, check out this peekaboo for the peekaboo crew. Both sides. Loving it. So this is normally storage, so this is an add-on for this model. It is stock, I believe, a 4-bed, 3.5 bath that you can do some extra stuff to. These other bedrooms in here are pretty standard, run-of-the-mill. You could get a queen, probably better for a full, with a decent little closet. And I've seen different configurations of this one where it's storage there, normal bedrooms here. I've seen it to where these bedrooms are normal, kind of Jack and Jill style. I've seen it where this one is a little bit more oversized and the other one is more storage. I've seen it so many times, and I've had people build it so many different ways that it's hard to even keep up with them, right? But the piece de resistance that makes this plan super special is that it gives you a lifestyle flex room that turns this basically into damn near a little studio apartment. And I think about all the time, just like acquiring rentals and just doing the things that move the needle forward for my daughter and my family. And this is a space where, you know, we could put a little kitchenette in here and she doesn't feel like she has to flee the nest at all. It could be her own little self-contained little apartment in our crib. It's just gonna be us. That is our family dynamic forever. And so there's no need to go out and take on bills or do any of those things that put her and her future family at a disadvantage. And this plan, I think does that extremely well. For my clients that have seen this, that had maybe an older kid that was like preteen and had a younger kid, the younger kid could be in that other big room and the preteen kid could be and have their own space as they grow up and become the young adult that they're on their way to becoming. And so this plan has been, like I said, damn near perfect for a lot of people. It's been aspirational for me. And every time I see it, I come in here and I see this room and I'm just like, yeah, this would be perfect for Cheney. On the whole opposite side of the house, we don't hear what she got going on. She don't hear what we got going on. She has her own wing. She can act like this is her own little apartment up here. We ain't gotta see you go. But she's safe. We ain't gotta worry about her getting into no debt, doing nothing crazy, right? You're taken care of, okay? So yeah, I love this plan. A lot of my clients have loved this plan. Sold a bunch of them. And all over Houston, this has to be. If it is not, I would be very shocked to know what their number one 65-foot two-story plan is, because it gotta be this. Yeah, just the amount that I see in inventory between this, the 223 and the 224, those are the ones that you see over and over and over and over and over again, because they are just very functional. In certain neighborhoods like Bridgeland, you can get these built even a little bit wider and get a little bit more square footage. But over here in Meridiana, I think it goes up to like 4,000 square feet. So this is just a big, beautiful house, right? And it's one of the reasons why this neighborhood is special, because from a pricing standpoint, and I was just touring with some clients the other day, and we were out in Ellison, I believe, and the base price for the same plan, similar square footage, same size lots, it was like 75,000 more for the same plan, okay? So think about what you could do from a decoration standpoint with 75K. Think about how nice you could make this home. Think about all the touches, all the sliders, all the cabinets, all the countertop. Think about all the things that you could do from a standpoint of price if you're saving 70 to 80K just off the top with the base price. And that is one of the reasons why Meridiana truly shines as a very special place, because you already got a $ head start compared to most places. Love it. But we have more to see. But last time, for the good old vibes, say goodbye to my old friend, the 222. I believe Adam shared with me that they weren't bringing this model back. I don't want to scare you. They'll have this model, but I believe the new model home is going to be a 224 or a 223. But we'll see. Because the last time I talked to him, he kind of was like, this one sold so well that I think they want to bring it back, but I think he wanted something new and something fresh, because more people were basically interested in the 224, but would have to go all the way an hour away to Cypress to look at one. And so I think they're gonna just go the route of putting a 224, because more people seem to be asking to build 224s. But we'll see. But love it, love it, love it. Right now they're doing crazy incentives. I think they're offering like 60K in incentives right now. If you know me, we could probably get you a little bit more, and what you do, because you're watching this video, so definitely hit me up. Don't miss out on that money playing around. Don't do it. But yeah, we got more to see. We got a couple more builders that y'all love, that y'all have traveled all over far and wide to check out. And we ended up here in Meridiana, and I've showed you these people. Let's get into it. All right, so this one is super special, because this, for those of y'all that have been following me for a while, y'all know that I started off kind of with doing the model home tours only, where I wasn't really talking, wasn't really getting on camera, and I was just showing you plans. And this one is super special to me, because this is the first one that ever got over 10,000 views. And I was just like, I made it, I finally made it, right? Huge accomplishment. Another thing that this one has also done, Drees as a builder has gotten me one of my largest contracts in my career. And so again, I'm partial to the people that show love to me, and they have taken care of me in this neighborhood and around Houston. but this is the Leighton plan, very similar to Leighton. So if you're gonna build you a Leighton plan, get it with Leighton. Whether that's here or anywhere else that you can get something that is wide enough to accommodate it. This one was made for like their 80 to 100 foot products. You can build it up now. We have a few lots that are coming open soon. They're selling this one and building their new model home park across the way. They're gonna have 70 and 90 foot sections coming up. Lots for waterfront for something that could accommodate something like this are gonna be somewhere between 50 and 60K for waterfront property. But let's go and check out this beautiful plan. Let me know what you think. And the elevation on this one is just crazy. And they have some of the prettiest one-story models and two-story models. There's a few popular ones that you'll see kind of all over the internet. The Linmar is probably the most well-known that I've seen. And they have stunning one-story models just kind of all over. And this is one of them. I remember rolling in here for the first time and being like, oh, this is what the custom home space is like. And then my girl Paige is here. She's been here for a couple years now doing her thing, and she's growing as the community grows. And she is gonna be here for the next few years as they develop out the 70 and 90 foot sections. And we'll see how the neighborhood continues to grow, because one thing that I have noticed around the neighborhood is that they're starting to clear out more land that didn't appear to be for Meridiana at first. So I think the developer is still kind of land hungry. They're still trying to get more and more and more, so that estimate of what a couple years ago would have been like, oh, we got like 3 more years left, is starting to hear more people say we got 3 to 5, or we got 5 to 6. We're starting to hear more and more builders say that as I'm touring with people in the neighborhood. So I think that we're starting to get some of these kind of holdout land around us that are kind of, I don't want to say like eyesores, but don't go with the fit of how luxurious this neighborhood is. You have a couple things that are just like, should this be around this $1 million house? Probably not. And it sounds like they're making their way to acquiring that land. But back into this beautiful home. This is the in-law suite off of the front door. This is your little courtyard, little patio area, because you have a house that is that wide that could accommodate it. Little study area. Now again, this is a custom home builder, so whatever you are willing to pay for, whatever you are willing to do, they will do it, as long as you're willing to pay for it. So if you wanted this to be a movie room, this could be a movie room. If you wanted this to be a really big wine cellar, it could be that. It could do all of those things that you want it to be, because they are custom. And then this was just a showstopper. When I first came in here and brought some people in here, they were just like, oh my goodness. And just beams all over. It is open concept, but I love how when it's open concept and they have that table just kind of tucked in a corner. I'm a huge fan of that style of layout. And it's just the beautiful, beautiful kitchen. Beautiful, beautiful. Functional cabinetry all the way around. Love it, love it, love it. This would normally be your garage. So 3-car, 4-car garage, super possible with this builder. You come into oversized pantry. I've seen this made out as like a spice kitchen before. I've seen a couple of different variations of this plan in different neighborhoods. And because again, it's custom, baby. You do what you want to do with it. Huge laundry rooms. That's another kind of staple that I've noticed with Drees all over the metro is that they have really big laundry rooms. Their pantries are usually really great size, and they really have stuff that just doesn't feel cookie cutter like some of the other homes that we would typically show on the channel that are kind of repetitive in a way, in that, you know, 2 down, 2 to 3 up, game room, movie room, and they're all kind of faced around the same way and in the same basic location. This was one of those ones where it's just like, I don't think I had seen anything that quite looked like this, and I thought it was interesting. But we don't cut through there, so we're gonna go all the way back around. And let's check out this patio, and then we'll get into the secondary wing of this house. So come out here, yeah, vaulted ceilings, all the things that you can choose. Where you building this, you will have an opportunity. She'll have like 4 or 5 opportunities to build this specific plan in the new section. On water, I think she has 2 opportunities currently to build it. If you're not familiar, Houston has pretty strict repetition rules in these kind of communities. So if this model home is on this corner, you wouldn't be able to do it. Even if you had the money, you wouldn't be able to do it right next door. You have to, I believe, skip 3 or 4 houses. So there's only so many lots, there's only so many spots, depending on what people have already selected, what people have already started contracts on. Currently, I think she would have 2 more lots on the water that she would be able to do this one if that was what you so choose to get in that 90-foot section coming live. But I believe we saw a Drees like this in, where were we? Were we in Grange with the Mrs. where we saw that big Drees? Or was that Colton where they kind of had a separate little one space over here, one space over here, and it just felt like a completely different, oversized, humongous outdoor space. Wherever it was, I think it's beautiful. And I think this is gorgeous as well. Huge picture windows, tons of natural light off of the back. This is gonna be a slightly oversized yard, but nothing too crazy. I believe most of their 90-foot wide lots that I've seen were like 160. It was like 100 by like 160 to 170 deep. So you're getting somewhere in between like 18 and 20,000 square feet for the lots that she has going over there. Some are a little bit more oversized, some are a little bit more under. But yeah, she does have some nice sized lots in that 90-foot if you wanted to come and build something like this. And if this feels too tight, there are some oversized lots that aren't on water that are a little bit bigger. But if you want that water, no back neighbor, that whole kind of vibe, that's about where you are, 50 to 60K for something that's gonna be around 20,000 square feet. All right, so let's go back in here. So we're gonna check out this primary suite. Let me know what y'all think about it. I love how it turns down into like a little hallway. I've been a sucker for a long time for a house that turns and gives you like little hallway feels, because it just feels a little bit more elegant. You have some nice finishes. I think, again, the way to do it, if you got the bread to do it, is to build these. Of course, trust me, I am Mr. Inventory. The deal 1000% of the time is going to be in inventory. But what I will say about Drees in this neighborhood, because they are playing on some of the biggest lots and they're usually in sections by themselves where they don't really necessarily have that competition, sometimes you're not going to get in inventory. It'll be kind of like polar opposites. You'll have one where it's just like, man, why would you pick that? Why would they do that to my girl and put those selections in there for inventory? Because you're just gonna have to keep coming down on price, because it's gonna be a humongous house that's almost 5,000 square feet that needs, a lot of work. And then they have some that are just like knockout, villain blacks and nice woods and just all the railing and all the stuff that you would want in a custom home. They'll give that to my girl in inventory. And she just told me that they've increased her budget, so I'm gonna imagine that she's gonna be putting more of her touches on the inventory going forward. But Inventory is always going to be the best deal, but it's going to be a big house that you have to do a lot of work too to kind of get it a little bit more modernized, because they're in sections where they're not really competing with a lot of people. Whereas if you go to some of the other sections here that have some overlap, the 50s, the 60s, the 65s, if you go in those sections, those are a little bit more competitive and people are kind of putting their best foot forward. What I'll see in this section is, again, they'll kind of be super high on some of their popular ones, and they'll be kind of bare bones on some of their other ones that give you a little bit more square footage. But if you got the money, all that yapping to say, if you got the money, go in here, customize it. You're going to be able to get the exact plan you want, the amount of garages you want, all the layouts, everything that you want, because it's a custom home builder and they can build up to, I want to say like 5,200 square feet. So you'll have a lot of range of what you could do here. But super gorgeous. Nice tall ceilings, spa-like retreat in here. You come into your beautiful primary suite. And it's just a vibe, man. Just a vibe. So you got 2 rooms down. A little office area. Showed you this beautiful kitchen. Showed you this back patio. Now let's cut off to the little secondary wing. That's a little bit different than what I had seen. So that's a bathroom. I think somebody's in there, so we're gonna let them do their thing. And you come into secondary bedroom. Again, really nice size. You can definitely get a king in here easily. Nice full furniture, tons of room in between the walls and where your bed is. Tall ceilings in the bathroom. Always makes stuff feel a little bit more elegant. Tall ceilings in your closet. Doing that same thing. Black hardware. Attention to detail. Black hinges. If you pay for it, y'all, make sure that they don't paint over that. Don't let them do it to you. And this was the other side of that laundry room that we were in earlier. But now, let's go to this little interesting wing, because on a 1-story, you usually give up that flex space where you would have, in a 2-story, it kind of comes naturally. So you would have 2 rooms down, you would have that peekaboo looking over into your family room, and you would have that loft area that gives you the peekaboo. So on this one, they carved it out of this area. Now, because this is custom, you'd be able to maybe make this a bedroom, you maybe do some other creative things with it, you know, however creative you could get. But I liked that this one almost turns this one into a studio apartment. And a lot of the people that I had, they didn't end up pulling the trigger. They ended up actually going and getting 222s. But they were looking at this for like older kids, older parents, kind of making this their own little apartment kind of wing. I believe Lennar, and we don't get them no shine on here because they be acting funny, but Lennar has a next gen series that kind of does this sort of thing that gives you that separate entrance kind of apartment style feel in this. And this was one of the closest ways to do that. And when I first got in here, people were touring this thing like all the time, gangbusters. But yeah, love this use of space. I think it's super beautiful. You also don't have to sacrifice on actually getting a media space. They give you that in here too. Really great size. All this stuff is decoration, so ignore that. But just the size of this room, whether it's game day and you got to set up like this with multiple TVs, or you got your projector, however you want to do it, this is enough room to have the theater seating with the steps and all. Beautiful. You got more storage because everybody needs storage. And then we got that last bedroom. Definitely fit a king in here. Definitely great size. Tile going up to the ceiling, tall ceilings. Great into that luxury feel. Same thing in the closet, man. So yeah, I can definitely see every time I come in here, every time I've ever toured it, I can definitely see why this has been a favorite tour-wise. But because you are in the custom section on bigger lots, you typically would pay a little bit more price per square foot. So I would say your best deal almost always is going to be an inventory. But again, if you got the bread, hey, and there's a lot of y'all that hit me up that's just like, I'm not gonna put no budgetary limits on you. If you got the bread and you wanna go all out, this is definitely gonna be the most custom build on that we currently have in this neighborhood. There's some things that I love about Highland, but they're pretty much rigid when it comes to moving a lot of things around. Whereas this builder, if you're willing to do it, I just saw project manager walk by, if you're willing to pay for it, they'll do it, okay? But yeah, that is the Leighton plan with your boy Leighton. If you are going to build one, you bet not, I'm talking to you now, you bet not come over here and build one in my neighborhood and not hit up Leighton to build a Leighton plan. You crazy? But we got more to see. And so now we're about to hop into probably the top selling plan product line that I've sold over the entire Houston Metro, specifically in this neighborhood. We're doing crazy in this neighborhood with this product line. That is that 50 to 55 foot section. And two of the best to do it on the one-story side, you got Highland Homes. For those of y'all that have been watching for a while, y'all know that this used to be my dream plan. Legend has it that we had a contract on this, me and my wife. She tossed and turned the whole night. She woke up, batted her eyes at me all cute and was like, can we go and get a 2-story? And that's how we got our house that we're in now. Don't tell her I told y'all that. And then the newcomer to the block that came and took over all of the 50-foot Toll Brothers lots, Westin Homes, and they are the best to do it on a 2-story style, in my opinion, because you're gonna get the square footage, you're gonna get the spaces, you're gonna get the elevation, the luxury look, you're gonna get the tall ceilings, you're gonna get all the stuff that you expect from a Westin, but just in a smaller package, and often at a slightly bigger square footage that you would get in the same footprint for a Highland Home. So we're gonna go and showcase those. But before we get into all of that, we gotta do a couple things. Y'all been watching this video for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Y'all haven't called, texted, emailed, hit me with a carrier pigeon. I woke up this morning with a little gray hair in my beard, and I think that officially solidifies me as an unc and Marissa as an auntie in the Metro and on this channel. I'm cool with that. Aging gracefully is a beautiful thing. And over 65% of y'all are a little bit older than me, which would make y'all OGs. And what I do know is that OGs are real big on calling. So I'm gonna do this for y'all. I'm gonna put my number on the screen right here. But for my tech savvy, super tech savvy OGs, I'm gonna put a QR code somewhere on this screen right now so you can just take out your camera, look at that picture, and it's gonna take you over to a link to my calendar. That is the absolute best way to get in touch with me. Just like right now, I've been filming for, like I said, over 30 to 40 minutes. I've had a bunch of calls. I can't do anything about that right now because I'm working. Same thing for you. I want to make sure that I'm taking care of your needs and the questions that you have. And I want to make sure that I don't have any distractions when I'm taking care of you and your family, okay? So again, I'm gonna put the number on the screen one more time. I'm gonna flash that QR code that's gonna take you on over to my website to book a call so we can sit down and have a game plan session about your needs in this marketplace. If that sounds good, without further ado, I want to be able to help you. I want to get you these extra incentives. If we're in my neighborhood, for sure. If you're not hitting me up, you are definitely missing out on money. I can guarantee it with damn near any builder, specifically on inventory, but even on builds. There's been times when I've been able to get a little bit more closing costs, a little bit more off the price of that house, a little bit more towards the design. That's just stuff that you're missing out on if you don't hit me up. The only way I can do that is if you book that call, hit me with a text, hit me with an email, and make sure that I'm taking care of you. But without further ado, let's hop back into the video. All right, so up first, we have the Kingston plan. It's a 50-footer. Like I said, for a long time, this was my absolute favorite one-story plan in the 50-footers.
Hey, how you doing, man?
What's up, dude? That's my guy, Jay.
What's up?
Doing a farewell video for the channel because y'all are about to move over here in a couple months. So I'm just letting them know that this is wrapping up. They want to come tour it now. They got to come do it.
Yeah.
Do you know what plane you're going to get for sure over there?
I do, yes, sir.
Okay. So on the channel, I believe that's in Creston, right? That's the
Yes.
Creston model. So
we have one we can look at if
Okay.
you'd like to walk it today.
okay. So we do have Surrey coming. Beautiful plan, has the nice vaulted ceilings, all that gorgeous stuff. Different from this Kingston plan, but gives you similar spaces. So it's definitely going to be a great alternative, but I'll be back to let you know about that. Okay?
This model home comes on sale. We think it's going to be about November.
Okay.
So if you like this model home, hey,
Okay.
this exact one. Generator, oversized lot, cul-de-sac, boom.
Okay. Do you know about what the price is going to be? Or
No
not-
idea.
not
Well,
yet?
if I had to guess, I think it might be 540-ish.
Okay, that's not bad. Okay, souped up model home, 540 generator, oversized lot, all that stuff, 540, that's crazy. And you said about November?
Something like that.
Okay, so in the fall, okay? So be on the lookout. If you want this one, let's talk, okay? But back to this beautiful model home of the Kingston. If this will flip around. And it's just the soft, like my wife calls it, the soft touches of elegance, just the arches and the ceiling heights and just the color palettes that they've used in this home, just super beautiful. It's gonna be a little guest suite. What we got going on over here. Here's your bathroom. This will be your garage. This one is set up as a 3-car wide garage on this one. Laundry room and a little bit more storage because we're in Texas, you need that storage. Come on in to your great size movie room, just showing you what you could get in here. Super nice size. I've seen this set up with your theater chairs in here with a little step up, plenty of room to do what you want. Make it your she cave or your he cave. Tall ceilings, you can have this kitted out however you want. Beautiful. And then just back in this hallway, man, I just love the archwork. I just love the height of the ceilings. And you come in here and it's still super tall ceilings. Beautiful. Again, you know how I feel about the free floating, but the fact that it's to the back corner and not in the middle of the room, love it. Picture windows. If you weren't gonna have the sliders on the back, you would have picture windows like that. Pretty much wrapping this whole back wall, and so tons of natural light, even on this day that has been super ugly since I started filming today. And on and off raining as I'm filming today, it is still tons of light in here. We got the upgraded kitchen. Nice size island. Beautiful, man. It's beautiful. But yeah, that Surrey plan, I like it a lot. Let's see what he has in inventory right now. So he has a Surrey around the corner from here at $499.90. And we probably got some room on that because that's my boy. I'm telling you. We got a Kingston going on around the corner at $475. Brentwood, $489, and then the Panamera, which is the plan that I bought here. They have it as a 5-bed, 5-bath, oversized. They got a 3-car garage at $540. Coming up soon. Okay, so it's moving and grooving over here. They're about to go into a new section as well once they have sold out everything. They're just gonna keep it going. All right, back to this beautiful house. We have a bath over here, full bath. And again, the thing that I love about Highland, and if you don't know, if you're not keeping score, we live in a Highland. One of the things that I love about their product the most is that even if you're not building it, so let's say you're in a phase where building it ground up just makes you uncomfortable. You're not comfortable with having, let's say, earnest money deposit is going to be on a product like this somewhere between 15 and 20. You're going to go to the design center and spend, 50 to 60. And let's say you don't want, $50,000 just sitting in the builder's hands while you wait for this house to be completed. That is perfectly normal. And as you go up in size to the 65-foot product, even more money. So let's say you don't want anywhere between 50 and 100,000 just sitting in a builder's court. I understand that. Even though we could have built, we didn't decide to build ultimately because I was comfortable with what I was paying for and what interest rates were going to get me at the time when we were ready to buy. And that is probably the biggest perk about going with an inventory is you know what life is and what terms are in real time at that moment. When you build, you're going to know what your terms are like a month before you close and you lock that rate, okay? Back to my original point. The thing that I love about Highland is that in their inventory homes, in my opinion, and this is someone that has bought an inventory home with them, there isn't this steep decline like you may see with some other builders in the metro where if you go into their model home and it's just like, oh my God, that is magnificent. And then you go into their inventory home and it's just like, ooh, that's a little bit of a dud. You don't get that with Highland Homes, in my opinion. And they are probably the most consistent in Meridiana, which is even a lower price point neighborhood than like a Bridgeland, oftentimes like a Ellison, oftentimes like a Sienna, so on and so forth. Those are the kind of the bigger communities around here that have the caliber of builders that we have. Even at the lower price point, you're still going to get upgraded kitchens, upgraded tiles, upgraded cabinets, oversized lots. So you're going to get 3-car garages. You're going to get things that you wouldn't get normally in inventory with Highland Homes. And that's one of the reasons why I personally kind of cape for them a lot. They're usually a builder that many of my clients come from all over the world to see, either the 65-foot or one of these models, just to come and check them out. And they take great care of my people, right? And so it is no secret that I sell a lot of these and I speak highly of them because I was in your shoes and it's just like, we had the bread to do it, but do I want to just park, $50,000 to $70,000 in somebody's hands while we wait to see what the interest rates could potentially do? It wasn't something that I was comfortable with at the time. We went the inventory route, and I think we got great bones for something that we're going to be working on making look like a model home for the next 3 to 5 years, and then we'll turn around and do that thing that you're supposed to do, because I tell all of my clients, especially the ones buying a new home, don't look up 5 years from now and be wanting to move and you have done nothing to that house. Don't do it. Put those touches on it. Go visit some model homes. Go and see what they're doing to make their houses look pretty, because when that time comes, and it happens all the time, it's happening to some people right now that I'm working with, they really didn't put any touches on that new construction home that they had, and we're going to list. And I can tell you, the moment we press submit on that listing, there's going to be new construction options nearby. There's going to be neighbors that are just like, oh, this is the perfect time to sell. Look, so-and-so sold. And they're going to put their house on the market. And the person that makes their house look more customizable, like it has more character, more love, typically wins, okay? So don't just get in here, bare bones home, no decor, no painted walls. Everything is either bright white or agreeable gray like the day you got it. It's just gonna look super dated when it comes time to list that thing, which most of these houses aren't people's forever houses. People are in the house like 5 to 7 years now, right? So by the time you're getting round in that corner to get on that side of the town or that side of time when it's time to list that house, you want to have done the things that you find enjoyment with and are going to make your house sell and appreciate and value a little bit better than your neighbors, okay? So let's get back into and just beautiful. Now, if my wife walked in here right now, she would be like, oh, why didn't I get that? She would do it. She would do it. Now, I think that the 60 and 65 foot plans have her in a chokehold. That 216 currently has her in a chokehold. But this does elements of that very well. Gives you a nice sized patio. Gives you the nice lines. Gives you that separate living off your kitchen. Gives you that kitchen overlooking the living room, right? It does a lot of those things. And it does them really well. And I'm a fan. Gives you all the spaces, man. I'm a fan of something that just gives you the spaces. 4-bed, office, and a media. I'm a fan every day. All right. You got your nice office, nice tall ceilings. Slide on back. Again, gotta do the bay bump out, in my opinion. It's a requirement. This isn't the hugest room, but it's not the tiniest room ever. So even if you didn't have it, it's still a nice size room. I'd be standing basically where the room is. It's still a nice size. You still get a king with all your furniture, everything you need. But this little bump out just gives you a little bit more room to add a little bit more character with your decor. And again, plans over here in the 50-foot section are gonna kind of hit that sweet spot for most people. They're gonna hit that 400 to mid fives is kind of where most of them are gonna land you, just based on what we saw for the inventory, right? So it's not going to be too much higher than that. They pretty much do the rule perfectly here, where 50-foot home, you're gonna be around the 500s, 40 foots, you're gonna be around the 400s. We're one of the last, I would say, neighborhoods that do that consistently. Everywhere else, you'll kind of see where you're, for example, in Ellison, and I love Ellison, no shade to Ellison, but you'll be in a 65-footer and you'll see a lot of stuff that's like 730, 750, 800. And it's just like, for the same house, I get that you're buying into the neighborhood, you're buying into the school system, you're buying into things that are already established. But for those people that often hit me up that are remote workers or don't have to have this defined rigid thing of where they want to be, it's no secret why we almost end up in my neighborhood 95% of the time. Even for people that say they don't want to be on this side of the world, I damn near show them to you, because by the time you get in here and you see the amenities and you see the builders, you see the variety, you see how the neighborhood is manicured, you see all the things, it doesn't make sense to not have this as an option if you are open to location. Another thing, I don't think we mentioned specifically why we love and probably do the best in the 50-foot section in Meridiana is because this is the only 50-foot section that I can think of where it's gated. This is a gated 50-foot functioning gate, 50-foot section. Not only are gates at a minimum in Houston, even in some of your nicest neighborhoods, you can go through and they're not gated sections all the way on up to 70, 80, 90-foot wide houses. They're not gated. But the gates starting in the 50-foot section is one of the most unique reasons why, for someone that wants to feel like that step up, feel a little bit bougier. I know that puts a little battery in my bougie wife's back that she's in the gated section. On the 50-footers, I know that does that for her, and I know that does that for a lot of my clients. So for people that say they want that extra security or they want that extra little bit of elegance, something that you can't get in another community at this size, Meridiana is just tough to beat. And Highland Homes and currently Westin Homes give you that, right? So tons to love about this neighborhood, tons to love about this builder. Again, this is, if you're on the 1-story plan, this is one of the plans that just does it the best. On a 2-story, you're kind of getting up into a price point that I don't know if it makes sense to do unless you're gonna catch it in inventory. Like that one, that's a good price for nearly 3,000 square feet for Highland. But we start to get into the weeds of, you know, what's a better deal, what's not over here for inventory. But 1-story, 1,000%. 1,000%. That soft glam, soft elegance that you just get in this, unmatched. Old friend. But yeah, sold a lot of these over here and in other places. This video did super well, and it kind of started attracting a few different buyers that I didn't even know I was talking to when I kind of first really got going on this channel. The people that are downsizing, you know, so my OGs that are kind of coming off of that. We've had a really big 2-story for a decade plus. All our kids are grown. We don't need that whole upstairs. They're coming over here and they're loving this plan. For people that were like us, we're a 1-kid unit up to 1 to 2-kid unit. Kind of starting off, you want that suburban feel in a nice neighborhood. A lot of amenities, schools on site. This is one of those plans that have attracted those type of people as well. So it is definitely one to come and see. And if you are open to location for sure, you definitely got to come check out Meridiana for sure. And last but not least, for the video today, we have Westin Homes. Been killing it in this neighborhood and all over the Houston metro, but specifically in my neck of the woods where you can get 50-foot gated house with Westin Homes at the prices that they're giving them to you out here. It's no secret why this has been a winner for a lot of my clients. And now let's go and check out their 50-foot model and let me know what you think. And yeah, like I said, the
Yeah.
2-story plan.
This guy right here, if you want to be a realtor, that's the guy right here. I don't want to be a realtor.
Come on.
My
guy Jared, talking me up. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
You need a good realtor, that's the guy. Yeah.
But yeah, pulling into here. Beautiful. Beautiful plan. That's my guy Jerry, and then talking to what looks to be a prospect in there. We'll see if he comes around. But yeah, man, beautiful home. I believe this is their, what is this? I think this is their Alden plan. So like 3,100 square feet. You can usually get this sub 550. If you're coming through me, we could probably get you 530-ish, give or take. You know, have similar finishes to this. You know, it won't be as dialed up, but it'll be damn near similar. I'm not gonna lie to you. All of them are gonna come basically stock with the fireplace. They're all gonna come with good hardware, usually black. Most people like that. Gonna have a decorative range hood. You're gonna typically have appliances in cabinet. The one thing that is a little bit more upgraded than in their inventory is this. You'll usually have a 4 or 5 burner. This is a 6 burner, so this one's definitely dialed up for the model. But in terms of overall finishes, it's gonna pretty much be like this, man. And again, this is just hard to beat because from a pricing standpoint, you got houses that are between 27, 3,100 square feet, all under 550, right? And had they been here when we were looking, we probably would have got one of these. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm a car carrying holding member, but I ain't gonna lie to you, we probably would have got one of these. Just because it does everything. It gives us the separate dining nook, gives you the tall ceilings, gives you the media room, gives you the office and all that stuff. It does all the things. Now, talking to Jerry a little bit earlier, he did mention that he was going to do more plans that have 2 bedrooms down and the rest up, where this one, I believe, is 1 super nice primary down, and then you have that office down. Everything else is up. He's gonna have a focus on more plans that do 2 down and the rest up. 2 down, 2 to 3 up. Okay, so that's gonna be a little bit of a change up from the norm in their 50-foot. It is pretty much standard for their 60-footers over here. And it almost feels like a crime that I didn't show their 60-foot Westin, but to be honest, for the price that they are here, it's a shock to me that I haven't sold more of their 60-footers here. But I think the reason is because they're a 60-footer. Whereas in the places that I have traditionally done very well with Westin, they've been 65-foot locations, usually giving you the 3-car garage wide. Whereas in here, it's not really an option unless you're on a super oversized lot because it's just too narrow to do it. Okay, so I think that's one of the reasons why I struggle there. And then when you come and look at a house that looks like this, man, is in the 5s, it's almost like it don't make sense unless you just need that extra, 700 square feet to pay that extra, let's look at here, extra 50, 70,000 to get that extra 700 square feet. Doesn't make sense. And then many times my clients will come in here, see this big, beautiful home and say, you know what? This is enough. Okay. So we did skip a office in there a little bit. My guy Jerry's in there having a convo. I don't want to be rude. That person doesn't want to be filmed. I ain't gonna film them. So we're gonna come in here, check out this nice size primary. Now this one feels a little bit tighter on the actual bed side, but again, you can clearly get a large king size bed, full furniture throughout, enough for a little bit of a little chair bump out, enough for a little bench in here still if you want to just really squeeze it, and that's without a bump out. But some people feel like this feels a little bit tight compared to some of the other bedrooms that we've been in for stuff around this size. But then you come into this bathroom and you're just like, oh, okay. This is along the same vibe as some of the 60 and 65 and 70-foot products that you'll see is in this bathroom. This is every bit as big as like the 224 bathroom for Highland. Has the width, has a standalone tub, has the zhuzhes, has everything you want. Has the oversized closet, again, every bit as big as some of your favorite 60-foot plus models in a 55-foot. And then has connected laundry, which is not common for something in the 50-footers, man. So again, man, this has been, for the people that come here looking for a 2-story, like I said, the people come here looking for 2 stories, they've damn near, I'm betting like 80% won this. If you want a 1-story, I'm betting like damn near 80% won what we just left. But if you want the 2-story, there's not many places that are gonna do this and give you this coming out of your primary for under $550 consistently in a neighborhood that is this nice. You might be able to get it for this in neighborhoods that aren't as luxury, that aren't gated, that are in the middle of nowhere, that don't have all the amenities and everything that we have here, but it ain't gonna be this nice. And that's a fact. So you come through, nice sized game room. This would be a lovely, a little homeschool area for little Chandler. And we'll come on through and we would have a really nice sized media space that we would just, again, this is doing all the stuff that you want a nice 2-story family home to do. 4-bed, office, media space, flex or game room. It's doing it. The thing that is probably the most challenging on a 50-footer is having the footprint that you have for your house, the opportunities to have either a 3-car tandem or a 3-car wide garage are very limited unless they are building one on a super oversized lot because the foundation is so narrow. That's a trade. And it kind of lends itself to some of the same issues that the 60-foot product has, where you may get a tandem or you may get that extra space that you're used to seeing, but it just depends. That is the setback with this. But for small families, again, that 50-foot product line just overlaps so many people, and I think is why it's one of the products that shows the best and does the best for the people that reach out to me, my client turned family, is because it can be for that person just starting out that wants something nice in a gated section. It could be for that young family that just has 1 kid, maybe 2. Everybody has enough rooms to kind of spread out. You got all the entertainment spaces, you got the holiday house. It could be perfect for the people that are downsizing, so on and so forth, right? It could be for so many people. It fits a perfect balance of luxury, size, and the necessary spaces to have a luxury home. And that typically boils down to 4 beds, office, media space, flex space, right? And so many of the Westins on a 2-story plan do this incredibly well. Damn near undefeated how well they do it. And I almost forgot to give my peekaboo crew a little peekaboo. Let me stop playing with y'all. My bad. I'm sorry, peekaboo crew, my bad. When you come through, you got the rest of the house, man. Beautiful house. You know, when you go to inventory, which Westin is, they're all inventory now. So there's gonna be trade-offs with that. You're gonna have some that they kind of deck out and do super crazy, and you're gonna have some that you feel like a little underwhelmed with, and that's perfectly fine. But for the price that you get it, you get me in here with one of my guys, you get me in here with Julio on a little bit of budget, with how much money I saved, and we can turn this into a masterpiece, right? It's just it's a beautiful thing. Same, man. You just come on in here, beautiful room, nothing but immaculate vibes. And yeah, man, before we cut on out for the video today, this is just my farewell to some of the people that have been doing and showing love to my client family, for the deals that they've made happen, for the extra incentive that they've put on top, for some of my biggest contracts, for some of my first-time home buyers, for some of my families downsizing, for all of the niches and everything that they have done to help my channel grow and to help my business grow. Meridiana is really a special place. And this is, I think, a proper farewell to this chapter of the neighborhood as we move across the street. Now, before we completely cut out for the day, I'm gonna try to ride over there. It's storming right now, so I'm gonna ride over there. If it's not still raining by the time I get over to the new model home park, we'll talk about the newcomer that everybody is excited to get to and to see. I'm excited to see them because I haven't seen a 65-foot plan from them in a very long time. So I'm interested to see what they do. And they are a relative of, as my wife would say, Frederick Douglass, with the Frederick Harris collection, which is a custom home builder under the Newmark umbrella of Houston. And that is who is coming here. So let's go and check out their lot and see what their model home is supposed to look like. And then we'll call it a wrap for the day. Now, I'm sorry in advance because this is going to be a little bit loud because they don't have power over here set up. Everybody should have permanent power in October, but all of these houses that have started so far are all Perry homes. Looks like we have another model home coming, and they're showing the 2.2, well, it looks like the 224 in Bridgman. So I think that they're going to get an actual 224 plan for Highland Homes, which I'm super excited about because, like I said, I sell a lot of those as well, and my families tend to love them. And then we're going to have this executive series for Newmark coming here soon. So interesting things. I'm super excited to see how things turn out. Got some more info in terms of what's coming and happening in the neighborhood. We're supposedly going to be getting a putting green. We're going to be getting another event pavilion. They've given some more timelines for when everything is going to be going live for the next amenity center. It's just a lot that is happening, and that was too loud. So I'm going to get back in the car and kind of finish this out with y'all. So yeah, back in the car, back in the AC, out of that noise. We have updated maps of what's coming for new sections and things that are happening. I literally went over so much today with my guy Jay. He does a really great job of taking a ton of notes when he meets with a developer team, and they gave him a lot of gems. We're going to get a proposed. We're supposed to be getting another just one-off kind of 8 to 9 lane lap pool that you can be in. Still kind of going back and forth on that. There's a couple more pockets of land surrounding the neighborhood that is also being negotiated right now to add to Meridiana. We've also learned that up at the inn, we're supposed to be getting another sign so you can see that, like, what's coming here. We have some commercial that's about to break ground at the entrance of Meridiana and 6. What else did he share? Alluded to it just a minute ago. Right on the outskirts of this park is going to be, or of this neighborhood, is going to be this event lawn that you can see right there. And right where you see that section 31B, there's supposedly going to be a putting green that they're in negotiations with right now to see if that makes sense for the look of the neighborhood. So we haven't touched on all of the commercial. We haven't touched on everything that's supposed to be getting here at the 288 entrance. They're supposed to be breaking ground on another little shopping center. We'll see how that turns out. They're supposed to have big retailers in there that they're going over. So what makes Meridiana so special is all of this, man. It's the luxury builders, it's the luxury variety, it's the affordability, it's the closeness to the city, and it's just basically becoming this little charming town that has everything you need at an amazing price. That is why Meridiana is so special.